Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the January 25th, 2023 Committee of Adjustment meeting. Tonight, we're going to start the meeting with a roll call. So when I call your name, just raise your hand and say here. So first, Teresa Nicodemo.
Here.
Valentina Brunoni.
Here.
Maria Ferrero.
Here.
Vince Marcotte.
Here.
And Jim Bosquero. No Jim. Alan Burgess, Supervisor of Planning and Development.
Here.
And Gudrun Baggs, Director of Planning and Building.
Here.
Okay, so our first item is going to be the election of a new chair. So are there any members that would like to be the chair for the committee?
I like to put my name in for that, for chair.
Okay. Is there anybody else? Seeing none, we also are going to be looking for a backup. So if anybody would like to be the backup chair in the event the chair isn't available, we would appreciate that as well. Vince? Anybody else? Okay, so can we vote on the new chair, please? I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Maria, second by Valentina.
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay, Teresa, it's your meeting.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Teresa.
Thank you. So all applications are subject to a 20-day appeal period. Sorry. Any person desiring to appeal a decision of this Committee of Adjustment may, upon request in writing to the Secretary Treasurer, receive a copy of the decision to be used for an appeal. The fee for filing an appeal can be obtained from the Secretary Treasurer. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest?
None received.
Noted. Adoption of the minutes from the November 9, 2022 meeting. Is there a motion? Val?
Yeah.
Second. Seconded by Vince. Okay, carried. Ryan, are there any requests for deferral or withdrawal of any applications?
None received.
The first application for consideration would be A-09-2022 file 4153, B-14-2022 file 4151, and B-15-2022 file 4152 for company 2312209 Ontario Limited. So Mr. Tuff, to make a presentation of the variance and severance application.
Okay, I just need to be able to share my screen. Okay, so we have a minor variance for reduced frontage, consent to create 6 lots and mutual access. The subject lands are zoned residential 1. And this is a site plan provided by the applicant that just shows the reduced frontages, the 6 lots. And these, the red and green, would be the 4 mutual access points that they're requesting. The applicant's design allows for the construction of detached garages and parking in the rear for a detached garage. There's sufficient servicing capacity for both units for sanitary, storm, and water. And we have not received any comments or concerns by any of the abutting property owners. Should application A09 be approved, we would have the following conditions: that B14 and B15 be approved with all conditions, and that's fulfilled by January 25th of 2025. And then for B14 and B15, should it be approved, the following conditions would be a survey, that the lands be consolidated, that the existing home be demolished, that they submit lot grading sheet prepared by an engineer, and that they enter into a severance agreement with the town, and that the above is also fulfilled by January 25th of 2025.
Jackie Lassaline, agent, you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce yourself and a brief explanation of your application, and please confirm you have read and understood the staff report.
Sorry, I'm representing the ownership of the, my name is Anthony Pipple, it's the agent. Jackie Lassaline, unfortunately, is on another council agenda, and she said she would join us in about 3-4 minutes if proper. I just messaged her. She said a few more minutes, so she's finishing Leamington. But she has spent some time with the town of LaSalle as well in council and reviewed it with Alan Burgess and Ryan Tufts as well. So I'm in agreement with their suggestion as what we're presenting here this evening. But hopefully we can await for her presence, which will be momentarily if required.
Mr. Pipolo, I'm not sure if I can make this decision, but I think we can proceed. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'm fine with us.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We can proceed.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we're waiting for Ms. Lassaline. Are we waiting for Ms. Lassaline, or are we going ahead?
Yeah, let me ask again, Vince. Mr. Pipolo, did you want to continue? Did you want to begin with your presentation?
Let me see. She said she was just tapping into join. So let's see. I'd rather
Okay.
have.
Thank you.
Okay. They're just ending right now, and she'll be. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I'm not a planner as we're the design consultant for the project and representative for the ownership, but she will speak with proper language to address council properly. And I apologize, but yeah, just another moment of time if that's fine with everybody.
Teresa,
Yes? Yes,
I have a question just on the variance and how it's worded. Is it okay if I ask now, or?
That will be up to Mr. You want to wait for after the presentation, Val, or do you think it'll?
Is it Valerie or Valentina rather, is it a question for staff or the applicant?
No, for the staff.
Okay, then perhaps we can go ahead and ask that question.
Okay, they're asking for relief from 8.6 instead of the 9, but in some of the lots, the minimum frontage is 8.53. Is that something that maybe we should include also, or are we okay with 8.6? Because some of them they don't have 8.6. It's less than what they're asking.
For the purposes of the notices, it's always rounded up to the nearest. So for the actual decision, it would have the exact number that they're looking for.
Okay, so so whatever
Yeah, the notices always stay approximate. So
yeah.
Instead of putting 0.53, we just did the 0.6, but in the actual decision, it would have the number that they've requested.
Okay, that's all I just wanted to clarify.
Are there any other questions for staff? So, Mrs. Chair, perhaps I can make a suggestion. In the interest of time, perhaps we can move on to the next application and come back once Ms. Lasseline has signed on. Does that sound like a feasible plan, or?
Yes, that would work.
I'm fine with it. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next item will be A-10-2022, file 41554, Luigi Conti and Jocelyn Baldwin, application for minor variance for reduced interior side yard and rear yard setback for a pool house. Mr. Tuft, make a presentation on the variance application, please.
Okay, so we have a minor variance for reduced side and rear yard for a pool house. The subject lands are zoned residential 1. This is a site plan that was provided by the applicant. It shows a 2-foot side and a 2-foot rear yard. The contractor that constructed the pool house did so at 0.6 meters, so the 2 feet. They were unaware that there was greater setbacks. If it was over the 100 square meters, the 100 square meters would be the 2-foot setbacks. The applicant also submitted letters from the abutting property owners, and they had no concerns with the reduced side yard and rear yard for the pool house. If the application is approved, we would have the following conditions. The first being that they obtain a building permit from the town and that the above be fulfilled by January 25th of 2025.
Jessica O'Neill, agent, you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce yourself and a brief explanation of your application, and please confirm you have read and understood the staff report.
Through you, Chair, I've been informed that the agent is not present as of yet. So I don't know if any of the members have questions for the agent. Or for administration.
Okay, were there any, so committee members, did you have any questions of administration or if the administration have any questions for administration? Sorry. None?
Administration. To administration.
Okay, okay, Chris, go ahead.
Just a quick one. The contractor didn't know setbacks. So is he on our blacklist now? I find that in this day and age that people are building that size of a addition or a standalone building and didn't know. I don't know if the owner is the same owner as when it was built, but you know, we never turn these down after they've been built. They would have to be pretty major not to, but it's just, when I hear the contractor did not know, you know, so did not know, or we didn't advise them, or just, you know, I'm going to support the application now, but
Through you, Madam Chair, Mr. Marcotte, you are accurate. I mean, I think it's an unfortunate circumstance. And I believe, you know, it was a bit of an oversight, and we've had discussions with the builder at length about this. It's unfortunate that they didn't know better. And, you know, we hope that in the future, they wouldn't make a mistake like this again. We are comforted to know that there are no significant issues associated with the variance, so it's not going to cause any additional grading concerns or anything like that. But you know, I understand your point, and it is an unfortunate circumstance that you know, we obviously don't encourage.
So having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision? And is there a motion? Val, seconded? By Maria, okay, that motion is carried.
we have a vote on it officially, just, Lisa, just for the record.
Yes, Vince? We did.
Just for the record, I think you should call the vote.
I'm going to ask you to repeat that, please. What about the vote, Vince?
I think you should call the vote, like, there's a mover and we'll discuss it later.
Yes, okay, thank you. So Mr. Pipolo,
Yes.
is Miss Lazaline? is
I
she
guess
on?
it's on, I guess it's still going on because they're dealing with something. So I don't know how to move this ahead because we need to move this ahead in their absence. I'm very aware of what the presentation was and we agree on behalf of the ownership with what we've prepared the file. We've actually designed it, prepared the file. And I was in the office there at the town of LaSalle. And we're very knowledgeable and we agree with what the presentation and the applications. We did the application. So we thought having Jackie Lassaline would also, if there's questions that came up, but it's very straightforward. And I'm thinking that with the variance and the presentation of creating 6 slots, it's very straightforward. The zoning is proper. It's an allowed use. So I think we have the okay from our side, and I don't know how council would like to move this forward in absence of Jackie Lassaline, but we're fine with the presentation that was just discussed.
Well, that would be okay with me if it's okay for the committee, if the committee has any questions for Mr. Pipolo. Actually, maybe I should ask, Gudrun, is this appropriate to just go ahead and continue with this, just with asking questions, or is a presentation supposed to be presented?
So, Madam Chair, I would suggest it'd be advantageous to have a presentation, although it's not a requirement. I can understand the applicant's desire to move forward with the application, so I'm sure he's looking, to move that along. Perhaps if there are questions from the committee for the applicant, we could start there. And if there are issues that, we can't overcome or we can't answer, then we may recommend a deferral on the application for it to be heard at the next meeting once Ms. Lassaline is available and can make an adequate presentation. But I think it's a good suggestion to perhaps start with are there any questions from the committee members to the applicant directly?
Exactly. So are there any questions from committee members to Mr. Pipolo?
Mr. Marcotte, did you have a question?
It was more to administration. I just wanted a confirmation on the depth of the lots, roughly. From the front to the back.
Okay, let me see here. I have the drawing in front of me, so let me get, I have to add some numbers here. Just give me a moment's time.
Mr. Tufts, do you have that answer?
I would be doing the same. I'm just adding up the numbers right now.
I added up to 300 feet about. I just want to confirm.
Vince, they're about 250 feet approximately.
Yes.
Okay. So it's quite deep. And the garages are set back properly. Brian, the only other thing I have, I'm just not sure who has authority to commit the group to what we're asking them to do. And I guess I go back to yourself, Ryan, or who's ever been meeting with these people on an ongoing basis. The last thing we want to do is find out that because she didn't explain something or whatever, they're not in favor of A, B, C, D, or E. Just want to get a feel of your confidence level. I think Alan's got a question.
Okay, that was a question for Alan.
Thank you. The development group who's come before us, Mr. Piccolo is their authorized agent. We had discussions along with Mr. Piccolo, with the owner of the property, and they were aware of the fact that we were looking for agreements and that there were services required in order to enable these properties to be properly developed. So I don't have an issue with the fact that that the agent was the assistant to the agent was not available, Ms. Lassaline, and they are fully aware of all the nature of the application. So I don't know if that helps, Mr. Marcotte.
Thank you.
If I could just add to that, Madam Chair, we are going to be requiring a severance agreement for this application. So we are going to be, catching all of the municipal requirements necessary for these lot creations as part of that agreement that will be registered on title ultimately. So anything, any of our design requirements or engineering standards or any of those items that need to be captured as part of that agreement will be done so at that time. And that is a condition of the approval of this application tonight.
Yes, and we concur with that.
Okay.
Okay, I guess, Madam Chair, just one last question, and I'm having trouble putting my finger on it. Somewhere I read in here that because of all the work being done on the highway, that the front is required to be re-asphalted. Is that correct? And I guess right now I can't find it. I'm looking at, because I thought sure I read that somewhere. So that the front is going to be, because of all the tearing up that's going to do with the roads, that it has to be redone. And that's probably going to be expensive. And I'm just not 100% sure if I catch that.
No, you're right, Vince, it was there. Is this a question for Mr. Burgess or for Mr. Piccolo? Or a comment?
Yeah, I just want to make sure they understand that as well. For some reason, I can't put my finger on it right now. But you know what I mean? That they're going to redo the front, the whole property on the highway.
Yes.
Is that correct? So that it's not 6 driveways. And
Madam Chair,
everybody's okay.
I think Alan has his hand up. He may be able to offer some assistance in this regard.
Yeah, thank you. Through the chair, that is correct. In discussions with our engineering staff, due to the number of connections for sanitary water and storm sewer, it will be necessary to repave an entire laneway of the road so that there will not be just 6 cuts in the road. It'll be one continuous pave from the first cut to the 6th cut. So,
That sounds good.
and the applicant's aware of that.
Is that something that would be shown on the engineering drawings when they would do the servicing?
That will be part of the engineering drawings as well as part of our legal agreement with the severance agreement with the owners of the property.
Okay. Is that something too, that when they come in and get their right-of-way permit, that would be specified on the permit that they have to pave it as one continuous lane?
The right-of-way permit itself is a document which will outline a number of, however, the agreement and the actual drawings themselves will be the definitive source of what needs to be completed.
Okay. So if we make a motion to approve this based on your recommendation, then I think we should be okay as far as getting all the requirements. Is that correct, Alan?
That is correct.
Okay, so we can make a motion to approve it based on the recommendations.
So that's great. That's wonderful information. Great. So having heard any comments or concerns made by administration agencies, and the public. Is the committee ready to make a decision? And is there a motion? Is there a
I
motion?
would so move that we concur with the application with the conditions
With the conditions? Okay, so.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
as laid out.
Moved by Vince and seconded by,
Okay, Teresa, are we approving first the variance? I think we
Yes,
have to
you know
first
what?
deal with the variance first.
my apologies. Yes, okay, so we're going to first approve the, the location, the proposed variance. So that will be the variance, it would be,
The A9,
A-09-2022.
Yeah.
So my apologies.
yeah, no problem.
So for this file number A-09-2022.
Sorry, Madam
sorry.
Chair, I do see Jackie online now. I know just before we go ahead and vote, I'm wondering if perhaps she has any additional information for the benefit of the committee.
Okay,
Good evening, everybody. I apologize for my tardiness. My other meeting went a little bit longer. I had one of those conflicts. I wish I could clone myself. Anyway, thank you for giving me an opportunity. I've had an opportunity to talk to Alan Burgess a number of times on this file. I think his position's fabulous, and I concur with everything that he's indicated. I am available to answer any questions if you have a question for me.
Are there any questions then for the applicant? From Ms. Lazzaline? And we've covered the questions for administration, so I believe now we are ready to vote, correct? So for the file number A-09-2022, is there a motion? For Val and seconded by Maria, and that is carried. In file number B-14-2022, and I can combine these, right? Is that okay if I combine them, Ryan? The two, B-14 and B-15? They can be combined. Is there a motion?
okay, I'll make a motion, but based on the recommendation. So I'll make a motion for the two severances. As outlined on the recommendation,
Okay,
okay?
so Val made a motion based on the recommendation had to be completed, and so seconded by someone? And by Vince, okay, and that is carried.
Sure.
Okay, so that is exciting. That's gonna be really nice.
It
So,
is.
the date, yeah, okay. So the date of our next meeting is February 22nd, 2023.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you for coming, Ms. Leslie. Thank you.
Thank
And is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? And I apologize, I can't see everybody on my screen. So
Okay.
Val,
Yeah,
Val,
I make a
sorry.
motion, yeah,
Yes, okay.
Seconded.
Seconded by Vince, thank you. And that is carried, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Okay, bye,
Everybody.
Maria, bye, Val,
Bye.
bye, Vince, having us time in Florida, bye, Ryan, and thank you again for this opportunity. I'm sorry if I was a little nervous. We'll see you.
You did good.
Problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
You did good, Teresa.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
okay.